thinking is possible, it just blows up over time. And you didn't even realize that could be a reality in your life. But my mind started going like, well, maybe I could stay home with my kids. Like maybe I could quit my full-time job, because I grew my whole business to Emerald in a full-time job, and my twins were babies. And I was like, maybe I could finally actually get home. That was never part of the plan in our marriage. We needed both incomes, full-time incomes. And so that thought just kind of kept rolling around. And Sal was so good about feeling that vision for me and keeping it front and center, even when it was hard. And even when I did not see progress happening in my business. And she would remind me just so well about what it was going to feel like and look like to be home with my kids. And I kept that vision right there, and it was rock solid and it was strong. And then I was able to retire a few years ago and be home full time with my kids. The biggest blessing. I didn't think it could be any more fulfilling than that. And when we talk about freedom, that looks different for everybody in their life. It really does. And sometimes it's more about financial freedom. Sometimes it's more about time freedom. Just personal freedom of choice to choose what you want your life to look like, what you want your day-to-day schedule to look like, what you want your family dynamic to even look like. That's all under that word freedom. And I didn't know when I started on this journey that this year was going to happen. My dad battled cancer, and I was able to walk alongside him for 3 months and not sacrifice income, but be alongside him and enjoy every moment that I needed to be there for. And then not only that, but to be able to help my mom after that, pick up the pieces, to be able to allow myself to grieve how I needed to grieve after that. Like all of this is stuff that in my mind, I kind of put it in this category of like intangibles, but the biggest blessings in this business. And so I don't know where you're at in your life, and I don't know what that would look like for you, but I want you to look beyond where you think is possible and just really wrap your mind and your heart around what could life look like for me and my family, and how am I planning ahead for the future when life does happen. And when life, because it does for everybody in some way, shape, or form. And when that happens, what am I going to be able to do about it? How am I going to be able to show up in the way that I want to show up? Because those are just precious, precious blessings that I never even thought about when I started this business, after I finally said that I was doing this business. But they've been the biggest blessings in my life. And so I'm just super grateful for this opportunity and everything that's come with it. And one little thing, again, I wanted to say too, the prayer support in the community that we have, and just the spiritual encouragement, I didn't have that before. I've got great friends. I have a loving Christian family, but the community here is something different. And when you've got that behind you, and you've got brothers and sisters in Christ that are just rooting for you and pulling for you and lifting you up each and every day, that is huge. And that's been priceless to me too. So, okay.